Did you know that helicopters can glide? An intriguing question, isn't it? You see, there's a common misconception that helicopters, those fascinating machines of flight, are bricks without their engines, doomed to plummet from the sky. But that's far from the truth. In fact, helicopters are perfectly capable of gliding, and not just a helpless fall, but a controlled, steerable descent. This is all thanks to a remarkable phenomenon known as autorotation. Even novice pilots are trained to use this mechanism to safely land a helicopter without engine power. Now, wouldn't you agree that's rather extraordinary? It's akin to a hummingbird gracefully floating downwards, even when its wings stop flapping. So, next time you see a helicopter hovering above, remember, even without its engine, it's not entirely helpless against gravity. Stay tuned to learn the science behind the gliding of helicopters. So what exactly is autorotation and how does it work, I hear you ask? Well, let's break it down. Autorotation is a fundamental principle in the world of helicopters. It's the process that allows a helicopter to glide safely to the ground without the need for engine power. Sounds a bit like magic, doesn't it? But trust me, it's all science. Let's start with the basics. A helicopter's rotor blades aren't just spinning props, they're essentially wings that rotate. When the engine is running, it drives these blades, creating lift. But what happens when the engine fails? That's where autorotation comes in. In autorotation, the upward flow of air, as the helicopter descends, passes through the rotor blades. This airflow, contrary to the usual direction during powered flight, turns the rotor, maintaining its momentum. But how does this enable the helicopter to descend slowly rather than plummeting to the ground? The answer lies in the clever design of the rotor blades. Each blade is angled slightly upwards from the root to the tip. This means that during descent, the air flows faster over the upper part of the rotor disc, creating a low-pressure area that slows the descent. Now, you might be wondering, how does the pilot control the helicopter during autorotation? Well, the pilot has control over the pitch of the rotor blades. By adjusting the pitch, the pilot can control the rate of descent and the helicopter's forward speed. It's a delicate balancing act, but a crucial part of pilot training. Even novice pilots are taught how to enter and exit autorotation and how to flare the helicopter just before landing to further reduce the descent speed. This ensures that even in the unlikely event of an engine failure, they can safely land the helicopter. Autorotation is a fascinating process, isn't it? But it's not just about the science. It's also about safety. It's about ensuring that even when things go wrong, helicopters and their pilots have a fighting chance to make it back to the ground safely. You might wonder, how safe is a helicopter in autorotation? Well, let me tell you, it's quite safe indeed. Autorotation is not a death sentence, but rather a safety net that allows a helicopter to glide even without an engine. Picture this. You're hovering high above the ground, the engine suddenly fails. But don't panic, the helicopter doesn't plummet, it glides. And what's more, it's steerable during descent. This means you can comfortably look for and find a suitable landing spot. Now let's contrast this with airplanes. An airplane requires a runway to land safely. That's a pretty big ask when you're in the middle of a crisis, but a helicopter, it only needs a small patch of land, making it far more adaptable in emergencies. So if you ever find yourself in a helicopter when the engine fails, remember you're in safer hands than you might think. So to sum it up, we've peeled back some fascinating layers of helicopter flight today, haven't we? We've discovered that these magnificent birds of the sky aren't just capable of hovering, but they can also glide gracefully, even without the assistance of an engine. This astonishing feat is made possible by a principle known as autorotation, a fundamental aspect of helicopter flight that even rookie pilots are taught to master. And let's not forget about safety. When it comes to emergency landings, helicopters have the upper hand over their airplane counterparts. They don't need a runway to make a safe touchdown. A small patch of land is more than enough, giving pilots a wider range of options in critical situations. So, next time you see a helicopter in the sky, remember, it's not just hovering, it could also be gliding. Thanks for watching.